Cool. Well, thanks for your time. I know you're running around doing all kinds of different stuff after practice. I guess going into a year after fully knowing your role after last year and kind of all the success you saw, I guess what are the expectations you have? I know there's high expectations for the team, but for yourself as well.
Just kind of make as many plays as I can when my number's called. Do exactly, try to do what I did last year and build off that and make the plays that I need to make. And not really numbers-wise, but I'm on the preseason Mackey Award watch list, so I think the biggest thing would be to be on the midseason watch list, because that would mean that I would be making those plays. So I think that's a big thing for me individually, would be to be on that list come the middle of the season.
Both you and Dion are, obviously making that. You made that transition at this pretty much the same. Was it the same time or pretty similar time? Or
yeah, pretty much the same time.
Okay.
Yeah.
How was that? How have you guys been able to lean on each other, or just obviously I know being out there on the field makes it tougher for the defenses, but just going through that together, was that?
Yeah.
What was that process like?
Yeah, we were always just talking to each other, trying to seeing, because it was brand new to us last year, and so it was definitely a little bit complex going into it. So I would ask him for advice, he would ask me for advice, and then obviously we would talk a lot to Coach Bunu because he has a lot of experience, playing in the league and everything. So we would just kind of try to talk to each other a lot and see what was working and what wasn't working, and try to use that to better ourselves.
How much have you had to try to bulk up to handle the blocking duties and things like that?
Decent amount. I think when I was I played 2 years as a receiver, and I played about between 205 to 210. And last season, during the season, I played at like 220, and right now I'm around 230. So I've tried to bulk up as much as I can, and hopefully, with the season running and everything, just try to maintain it at least.
Do you notice that making a difference?
Yeah, for sure. I think a big emphasis going into this year was really working on my blocking, my run blocking, and I definitely think it's gotten better through this fall camp compared to last year. It was my first year, and you're just trying to do the best that you can, but sometimes you're a little overwhelmed. But this year I definitely feel a lot better about my blocking for sure.
I know I was talking to Matt Lenahan the other day, and he was talking about how you guys roomed before, just I think maybe in a different place. Now you have like 5 or 6 guys.
Yeah.
That kind of the rapport you're able to build with Matt, is that how helpful is that when you actually get on the field?
It's we're on the same page. On and off the field, we're great friends. Back at the house or whatever we're doing. But when we get on the field, it's all business. But we definitely have that chemistry. I mean, we've been in the same system for 4 years. This is our 4th year, so he knows what I'm doing. I know what he's doing, and I think definitely having that off the field friendship definitely helps on the field as well.
You guys both were part of Petrino's first signing class, and seeing where this has all come from that starting there to now the high expectations you guys have for this year. Is that kind of been a gratifying process?
Yeah, for sure. I think the first 2 years it was definitely tough. There's no way around it. We won 1 game, each for the first 2 seasons, and then last year you kind of saw it build. You kind of see it, you see that hard work pay off, and then this year it's a bowl game or it's a disappointment. There's nothing. The last couple of years it was get as many wins as you can. But it's if we don't go to a bowl game, it's this season would be a complete disappointment. So it's definitely gratifying to go through 2013, the first Paul Petrino class, and go through that and see it build, and get that depth, get that competition, and then hopefully this season it pays off.
Yeah. With you and Lenahan both being, obviously being from families that have long deep Vandal legacies, does that mean, he was talking about actually how he feels like that means something from your perspective, even like he said, even walking into basketball games, walking into the Cowan Spectrum with you is an interesting experience. So what does that mean for you as a Cowan playing for the Vandals?
It's huge. When I was little, I'd always go to the Idaho-Boise State game, and that was my dream, was to put on an Idaho Vandal football uniform and play for the Vandals. So I think it's definitely a little bit extra. My whole family went here, and it's a special place to me, and you don't want to let anybody down. You want to do the best that you can. So I think, putting that the Idaho Vandal jersey on is every game is huge for me, and I definitely don't take it for granted.
Was Bobby's last year your first? I'm trying to think. Or did
He graduated. His last season was 2012.
Okay, so he hung around kind of as a.
Yeah, 2013 he was here. He was living off campus, and he was helping out with Rico his first year.
Did that help? Did that help you at all?
Yeah, that was huge because you're in the dorms and you're hanging around the guys, but it's not the best. So to be able to be a freshman and kind of be able to lean on your brother and go over there and hang out with your brother, and because it's familiar, so you know what he's up to, and you can go over there and ask him for advice, and because it's your first year, you don't know exactly what's going on, so it was definitely nice to be able to lean on him for sure.
I'm doing a quick. I'm also. There's a couple questions for you specifically about Matt, because I'm doing a story about him.
Okay.
And specifically about his broadcasting major. And something that struck me was how comfortable he is. Even that first day of camp, where he came back and kind of video bombed you while you were being interviewed. And I noticed he also did that clip for a class, actual segment on you, and then kind of inserted himself at the end. He feels super comfortable around the media. Does that help? I mean, I guess from you. Is that just something is that just his personality?
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, I'm around him a lot, and he's just really comfortable in front of the media and everything like that. And this is his fourth year around. So I mean, that's just kind of how he is. And he's a broadcast journalism major, and that's just kind of normal for him. I think whatever he does, I definitely think he wants to pursue an NFL career. But after that, I think he would definitely do very well. Doing some journalism or being in front of a camera.
Is that kind of charisma, rapport? Is that actually help in the huddle?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you can see it. We have a bad play. Let's go. He picks people up in the huddle. He has that charisma. He just kind of has that energy, that flame, and it just kind of builds off guys. They see it and they want to get going too. So it definitely he brings kind of that off the field, charisma into the huddle, and I think it definitely helps for me personally. So I think it definitely helps for other guys as well.
Cool.
You touched on your living situation a little bit. Who else is in the house with you and Matt?
It's me, Matt, Will, Desmond, Jordan Freisinger, Desmond Banks, and Jake Manley still lives there right now.
Okay.
So we got 6.
This is the first
year.
5-bedroom. First year you guys are all in the same place together.
Yes.
Yeah. And the other question I had is, you guys have so many receivers out there. It's hard for Matt to get everyone touches. Have you guys kind of bought into the idea that you guys aren't going to all get the catches, and you're kind of doing it for one another, and maybe one guy does it this game, the next guy the next game?
Oh yeah, for sure. I don't think anyone is. I mean, as a receiver, you have to be selfish as when your number's called, you have to get it done. But I don't think any one guy is selfish as in it's me. So I think definitely the wide receivers and the tight ends, everyone that's catching the ball definitely bought in that we have so many weapons right now that we can spread the ball around, and one guy might not get as many touches as one game as the other.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
Who does the dishes at home?